Right now, sitting on your kitchen shelf, maybe there's a jar of honey. You might have picked it up at the store because someone told you it's one of the healthiest sweeteners out there. Maybe you stir a spoonful into your tea each morning, or drizzle a little over toast, just to start your day with something warm and comforting. And you know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Honey has been a part of human life for thousands of years. It's more than a sweet treat. It's a symbol of nature's care. It carries with it healing, gentle energy, that soft kind of comfort we all seem to crave, especially when the world around us feels too loud. But here's the thing most people don't know. Even something as pure and wholesome as honey can quietly cause trouble in the body without you even realizing it. Not because the honey itself is bad, but because of how we use it and what we pair it with. See, some food combinations that seem innocent like honey and hot tea or honey over tofu can mess with digestion more than you'd think. They can lead to bloating, low energy, and over time, make it harder for your body to absorb nutrients. If it happens often enough, and especially in midlife or later years, it can even help fuel chronic inflammation. And if you've been around the health world for a while, you know what that means. Chronic inflammation isn't just about feeling stiff or swollen. It's tied to some of the biggest health concerns we face as we get older: memory problems, trouble sleeping, heart issues, even certain kinds of cancer. Now, I'm not here to scare you. Not at all. You don't need to throw out that jar of honey. But I do want to share something important, something simple that could help you use honey the right way. Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 combinations you should avoid, and 3 easy, wholesome recipes that can actually help honey support your health instead of quietly hurting it. They're affordable, they're easy to make, and they're made especially for folks like us, people in midlife and beyond who want to live longer, feel better, and do it without needing a shelf full of prescriptions. Now, before we dive in, let me introduce myself. My name is Linda Evans. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a celebrity. And I'm not some wellness guru online telling you to give up everything you love. I'm a mom, a grandma, and I've spent over 20 years studying natural health. Not just from books, but from real life. Watching what works, seeing what doesn't, helping people I care about feel stronger, sleep better, and enjoy more of their years. So if you've been looking for gentle, practical ways to take better care of your body, to protect your memory, your digestion, your sleep, or maybe just to understand how something as simple as honey can either help or hurt you, then you're in the right place. Because sometimes, all it takes is one small change, one new idea, and everything starts to shift. So let's start here. Let's talk about how to turn honey into your ally, not your enemy. You might be surprised how much can happen inside your body from just one little spoonful a day. And when you know what to pair it with and when to enjoy it, it becomes a kind of gentle medicine, a comfort, a helper. Now, before we go further into those combinations and recipes, I want to take a moment and look back with you. If you've been following along for the last 10 days, you've been on a quiet kind of journey. No expensive gear, no gym, just a towel, a resistance band, and your own commitment. And that's more than enough. You've taken the time to wake up muscles that were quietly asleep. You've reconnected with your body, with your balance, with your ability to stand, move, and rise with more ease. And maybe, just maybe, you're starting to feel a little different. Not younger, not like you turned back the clock, but like you're coming back home to your own body, like you can trust it again. Like you can get up from a chair without overthinking. Take a walk and feel steady on your feet. Stand up tall in your own skin. Maybe your legs feel a bit stronger. Maybe your steps feel a little lighter. And in the mirror, maybe your eyes look just a bit more sure of themselves. That's not magic. That's you. That's what happens when you choose to keep going. I've seen it over and over again. From Karen in Wisconsin, to Tom down in Florida, to Stephen way out in Arizona. They all started small. None of them were athletes. None of them had perfect routines. They were just everyday folks who decided to stand up. And then, they didn't stop. So if you've made it this far, I want you to really hear me now. This isn't the end of your journey. It's the start. You can keep going with the same gentle movements you've already learned for another 10 days, or 30, or let them become part of your life like brushing your teeth, or putting on the coffee each morning. If something feels good in your body, keep doing it. If something feels a bit too hard, change it, slow it down. Your body will meet you where you are if you give it the time. And if you're still wondering where to begin, just begin tomorrow morning. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to lay down the towel and do that first small move. Because every little movement you do, every step you take, brings you one step closer to the stronger, steadier, freer version of you. This isn't about doing things perfectly. It's about doing them consistently, bit by bit, day by day. And I believe truly that you can go farther than you think. So don't stop here. Keep going, one step at a time. You've already started. And that, my friend, is the most important step of all. Why not let's take a moment and think about something sweet, something simple, something timeless. Honey, not the kind that's packed with added sugars or pumped through a factory. I'm talking about real honey, the golden kind that's been trusted for generations. Now, imagine this. A team of archaeologists is digging through an ancient Egyptian tomb, thousands of years old. They open a small clay jar. Inside, honey. And here's the wild part. It's still good. After more than 3,000 years underground, that honey hasn't spoiled. It still glows, still smells sweet, still edible. Why? Because honey is one of the only natural foods on Earth that doesn't go bad when stored the right way. It's low in moisture. It has a gentle acidity. And it's packed with natural compounds that protect it and protect you. No preservatives. No fancy machines. Just nature doing what it does best. And the benefits? Oh, they go far beyond the taste. Let's talk about what's really hiding inside that little spoonful. Just 1 teaspoon, that's about 3/4 of a tablespoon, holds over 180 active compounds. That includes enzymes, trace minerals like zinc and magnesium, natural acids that help your body work better, and antioxidants, the kind that help you fight off aging from the inside out. Now, compared to regular white sugar, honey is a whole different story. Sugar just gives you a quick hit, then it drops you. But honey? It gives you steady energy, the kind your body can absorb quickly and gently, without that shaky crash an hour later. That's why so many people trust honey, not just for flavor, but for strength. Think about the last time your throat felt scratchy. Maybe you poured a little honey into some warm tea. Maybe your mom or grandma taught you that trick years ago. That wasn't just comfort. It was smart. Honey has natural antibacterial power. It helps calm inflammation. And some studies show it may even fight off certain kinds of bacteria, the kind that mess with your immune system. And speaking of immunity, raw honey brings antioxidants straight to your cells. That means less damage from everyday stress and better support for your body's natural defenses. Now let's move a little deeper. Did you know that honey can help your digestion? Taking it in the morning, maybe in warm water, or with a bit of fruit, helps get your system moving. Gently, naturally. No harsh stimulants. No stomach upset. Just a little nudge in the right direction to start your day feeling light and comfortable. But here's something even more surprising. Honey may also support your brain. Some antioxidants in honey have been linked to better memory, clearer thinking, and even a lower risk of brain fog as we age. For many folks over 50, when sleep starts to change and focus doesn't come as easily, a spoonful of honey before bed, especially with a warm cup of milk, can help quiet the mind, help the body let go, and help you drift into a deeper, more restful night. In a world filled with overhyped health trends, it's comforting to know that honey, real honey, still stands strong. No chemicals, no false promises, just what the bees gave us and what our bodies recognize. So the next time you reach for something sweet, reach for something real. Honey, nature's way of taking care of us, one gentle drop at a time. 2. Honey is one of those rare foods that seems to belong in every kitchen. It's sweet, it's comforting, and it's been used for thousands of years to support everything from energy to immunity. But as much as we praise honey for its healing benefits, not every food pairs well with it. In fact, there are a few common combinations that might surprise you. They sound healthy on the surface, even smart, but once they're inside your body, they can do more harm than good. Let's walk through 3 of the most common healthy honey combinations that might actually be upsetting your digestion, draining your energy, or making it harder for your body to absorb nutrients. And don't worry, I'm not here to scare you off honey. I love it too. I just want you to get the most from it, without letting it quietly work against you. Let's start with one that fooled me for years. Have you ever poured a little honey into your morning soy milk? Or added it to tofu dishes or soy-based snacks? It sounds like a smart pairing: plant-based protein from soy, natural sweetness from honey. But here's what most people don't realize. Raw honey contains a few natural acids like gluconic acid and citric acid. These are gentle and helpful on their own. But when they mix with the proteins in soy, something strange happens. Those proteins begin to clump together, and that clumping makes it harder for your stomach to break them down. So even though you think you're having a light, healthy meal, you may find yourself feeling heavy, bloated, sluggish. For people in midlife and beyond, when digestion naturally slows down, this combo can be especially uncomfortable. There's also an old belief from traditional Eastern medicine that's worth mentioning. Soy is considered a cooling food. Honey is seen as warming. When you combine them, you're mixing two forces that pull your body in different directions. And that imbalance may leave you feeling off, tired, foggy, or even a little unsettled after your meal. Now let's talk about something even more common. That warm, cozy cup of tea in the afternoon. So many people, myself included, love to stir a spoonful of honey into tea. It feels like a small luxury, a moment of comfort. But here's what's hiding in that habit. Many teas, especially black tea and green tea, are high in tannins. Tannins are natural compounds that give tea that slightly bitter taste. But when tannins meet iron, like the trace iron found in raw honey, they bind together in a way that makes it hard for your body to absorb. In other words, the iron just passes through your system unused. And over time, especially as we get older and absorb less iron to begin with, this can leave you feeling tired and weak without knowing why. There's another detail too, and it has to do with temperature. When you stir honey into tea that's too hot, let's say over 160 degrees Fahrenheit, it can damage the enzymes in the honey. Those enzymes are a big part of what makes honey so special. When they're destroyed, your tea may still taste good, but you lose many of honey's natural benefits. Now finally, let's talk about something you might have seen online: a mix of honey and raw onion. It's popular these days. Folks say it helps with coughs, blood pressure, or boosting immunity. But it's not always as harmless as it seems. Onions, especially raw ones, contain a strong compound called allyl sulfide. That's what gives onions their sharp smell and taste. When you mix that with honey and take it on an empty stomach, it can create gas and bloating for many people. In some cases, folks even report heartburn or stomach discomfort. It's also possible that the enzymes in raw onion interfere with the enzymes in honey, meaning neither one works the way it's supposed to. And while not everyone is sensitive, traditional health systems sometimes warn that using raw onion and honey together too often can lead to dry eyes or low energy, especially in older adults. Now, does that mean you can never enjoy honey again? Absolutely not. But just like anything else that's good for you, how and when you use it matters. Honey is a gift, but not every food plays nicely with it. So if you've ever felt a little off after mixing honey into soy milk, stirring it into hot tea, or taking it with raw onion, you're not imagining it. Your body may already be whispering to you, telling you, gently, to listen. Sometimes, it's not about giving up the foods you love. It's about using them with care, with intention, and most of all in a way that supports your body, not works against it. Because when you learn how to use honey wisely, it becomes more than just a sweet treat. It becomes a partner in your health, a friend to your digestion, and a quiet helper waiting patiently in your kitchen, ready to support you, one spoonful at a time. 3. Let's talk about honey. That smooth, golden comfort many of us keep tucked away in the pantry. A simple spoonful can turn tea into a treat or toast into something special. But when you pair honey with the right ingredients, it can do so much more than just taste good. Today, I want to share 3 natural combinations that are easy to make, gentle on the body, and deeply nourishing, especially for those of us in our 40s, 50s, and beyond. Each one is like a quiet helper supporting sleep, circulation, or soothing a sore throat using ingredients you likely already have at home. Let's begin with one of my personal favorites. Imagine this: the end of a long day. You've turned off the TV. The house is quiet. You're holding a warm mug between your hands filled with milk and just a spoonful of honey. There's a soft light in the room. Maybe a book nearby. Simple. Peaceful. That's more than comfort, it's science at work. Warm milk contains something called tryptophan. It's an amino acid your brain uses to make serotonin, that feel-good chemical, and later, melatonin, the hormone that helps you sleep. But here's the catch. On its own, tryptophan doesn't always make it into the brain easily. That's where honey steps in. The natural sugars in honey gently raise your insulin levels just enough to help the tryptophan cross into your brain where it can do its job. So instead of tossing and turning, you relax. Your body softens. Sleep comes naturally. Now, a quick tip. Keep your milk warm. Between 130 and 150 degrees Fahrenheit is perfect. Not boiling. Add the honey after the milk cools slightly. That way, you protect the good enzymes in honey that heat might otherwise destroy. This small evening ritual, just warm milk and honey, can help you fall asleep easier and wake up feeling more rested. Next up, a little spice and sweetness that supports the heart. I'm talking about honey and cinnamon. You've probably used cinnamon in apple pies or oatmeal. But it's more than a spice, it's a quiet powerhouse. Cinnamon contains a compound that helps relax blood vessels, which supports healthy blood flow and balanced pressure. And honey brings its own set of gifts, soothing inflammation, supporting immunity, and offering a touch of steady energy. When combined, cinnamon and honey can gently warm the body from the inside out. Especially helpful if you often feel chilly in your hands and feet. This blend also supports more balanced blood sugar, something many of us start paying closer attention to with age. Here's how to make it. Take a half teaspoon of ground cinnamon and stir it into 1 cup of warm water, about 8 ounces. Let it sit for a minute. Then add 1 teaspoon of raw honey and stir until it blends. Enjoy this in the morning or early afternoon. It's calming, warming, and gentle on the stomach. You may even find your energy stays more steady throughout the day. No crashes, no fog. And now for our third combination, a simple, soothing cough remedy you can make in your own kitchen. If you've ever had a dry winter cough, or that tickle in your throat that won't go away, there's an old remedy that's been used for generations. It involves 2 humble ingredients: white radish and honey. You'll need a small, fresh white radish, about 5 to 6 ounces. Wash it. You can peel it if you want, but it's not necessary. Slice it thin, about 1/4 inch thick. Place the slices into a clean glass jar. Then, pour raw honey over them until the radish is fully covered. Seal the jar and let it rest at room temperature for 6 to 12 hours. As the radish sits, it releases liquid which mixes with the honey and turns into a mild, natural syrup. This syrup coats the throat, calms irritation, and helps clear mucus gently without chemicals or synthetic ingredients. You can take 1 to 2 teaspoons at a time, up to 3 times a day when your throat feels scratchy or tight. It's a beautiful option for older adults who want something safe, gentle, and effective, and who prefer to avoid store-bought cough syrups full of hard-to-pronounce additives. Now, just to be clear, none of these remedies are magic. But when you use them regularly and with intention, they can support the body in quiet ways that build up over time. They help you sleep more deeply. They keep your circulation flowing. They soothe that lingering cough without needing a trip to the pharmacy. And the best part? They remind us that healing doesn't always have to be complicated. Sometimes, it's just a warm glass of milk, a sprinkle of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey. Simple, familiar things done in a thoughtful way can still make a difference, especially when they come with care, especially when you listen to what your body truly needs. Conclusion: sometimes in life, it's the smallest things that end up making the biggest difference. A spoonful of honey in the morning, a warm cup of milk before bed, or maybe a simple mug of cinnamon water on a quiet afternoon. These aren't grand gestures. They don't come with fireworks or fanfare. But they do something even more meaningful. They bring you back to yourself. Because true wellness, the kind that lasts, isn't built on big changes or fancy plans. It's made up of small, steady moments, gentle choices, everyday kindness toward your own body. And honey? It's one of those little things that carries quiet wisdom if you know how to use it. See, honey isn't just sweet, it's smart. But like any natural gift, its power depends on how you use it. As we talked about earlier, adding honey to something like hot tea, especially when it's too hot, can actually wipe out the very enzymes your body could benefit from. Mixing it with soy or raw onion, that might leave you feeling bloated or tired, even if you thought you were doing something healthy. But the good news? A tiny shift can make a big impact. Letting your tea cool a minute before adding honey, pairing it with warm milk instead of soy, swapping black tea for cinnamon water. These are small moves, nothing drastic. But over time, they help your body feel more balanced, more energized, and more at ease. And here's what I want you to remember. You don't need a prescription. You don't need to buy special tools. All you really need is your attention. Start by noticing how your body feels. Did that tea leave you calm or a little unsettled? Did the honey help you rest, or did it keep you up? Your body always gives you signals. They may be quiet, a little yawn, a bit of gas, or a deeper sense of calm. But when you learn to listen, those signals become your guide. I've spent years working with people from all walks of life, folks in their 40s, 50s, 70s, and beyond. And the one truth that keeps showing up is this: the best health advice is often the simplest. It's not about chasing every trend. It's about knowing what works and doing it with care. So as you stand in your kitchen tomorrow and your hand reaches for the honey jar, pause for just a moment. Ask yourself, am I using this as medicine or just by habit? Because when you use honey with awareness, it becomes more than a sweetener. It becomes part of your care, a partner in your rest, a helper for your digestion, a reminder that healing doesn't always come in a bottle. Sometimes it comes in a warm mug, in the soft light of evening, in a moment of peace that you create for yourself. And if you ever find yourself wanting more support, more gentle guidance, more clarity, more natural ways to feel like yourself again, I'll be right here, ready to walk with you, at your pace, one day at a time. Because health isn't something we reach. It's something we live. A little honey, a little patience, and a whole lot of kindness toward the one body you'll live in for the rest of your life. Wishing you a calm night and a sweet tomorrow.